Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Honorable to our lecturer of academic speaking and all of my beloved friends. We are from Group 4 and we are going to explain about global English. But first of all, I would like to introduce our group members. My name is Tri Harmianti and my partners are Mr. Aceh Muhammad Hijazi, Miss Amelia Ayu Marsika, Miss Fitrul Azmi Agustina, Miss Jingga Rizky Salaviandari, and Mr. Muhammad Rizky Aziz. The outline of our presentation are the first introduction, main body, result, and then evaluation, and the last one is conclusion. Nowadays, English is one of important language in the world because English has become global language. What is global language? It means that a language achieves a genuinely global status when it develops a special roles that is recognized in every country. And the demand of English learning has risen along with English development globally. The practice of English was no longer only limited to international purposes, but also local communication. Therefore, the trend has shifted from only copying the native speaker style to successfully communicating by using English. People who live in the country of English as foreign language, like Indonesia, tend to talk in English more with their friends rather than with native speaker of English. Based on Crystal, 1997 stated that the number of people in the world who communicate in English with international speakers is steadily rising compared to other language speakers. This statement is supported with the fact that approximately 380 million people speak in English as an international language. Such fact has proven that English is now globally utilized. Moreover, English is also used by over 1 billion people who speak English as their second language to communicate with other second language users, such as in Malaysia and Singapore. English is also used as an official language such as in United Nations and European Unions. It is language of business, technology, and medicine. And it is necessary for a lot of different jobs. For example, if you want to be a tourist guide or journalist, or if you want to work with computers, you really need to know English. Okay? For the next explanation, it would be delivered by Miss Amelia Ayu Marsika.
Continuing the previous presentation, I will tell about the main body of this presentation. The first one is, does English globally utilized now? Krista in 1997 stated that the number of people in the world who communicate in English with international speakers is steadily rising compared to other language speakers. Krista also argued that today English becomes one of the most spoken languages by world citizens. It is slightly lower than Mandarin with overall speakers up to 1/2 billion people. In addition, it is the most studied language in the world. In the level of international interaction, most people choose English as communication medium, which is generally known as English as a lingua franca. This is the example of English utilization performed by many people with various backgrounds, such as the speaker from English as second or foreign languages. This happens because English is commonly understood by many speakers despite their native language is not English. The second one is why English could be the most influential language. Crystal also argued that the success of English as the most influential language has been determined by two factors. The first is the powerful British colonialism and the skyrocketed business growth of United States of America. The proliferation of English in the world can be categorized into three circles: the inner, the outer, and the expanding circles. The native speakers countries whose mother tongue is English, such as the United Kingdom, the United States of America, Australia, and New Zealand, are clustered into the inner circle. People of those countries are called as monolingual English speakers or English native speakers. In another hand, several countries like South Africa, Singapore, Malaysia, Philippines, India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh are counted into the outer circle, discussed by the fact that citizens of these countries utilize English for daily communication along with their local language as mother tongue language. The expanding circle covers the countries that view English as a foreign language. In these countries, English is only practiced in several occasions, for example, academic places, foreign offices and particular events like seminars, conferences, and meetings, and it is mainly studied at schools or language institutions. Countries like China, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Indonesia, Thailand, Germany, Poland, Italy, and Russia belong to the expanding sector. Utilization of English in Indonesia. English is only utilized in several fields, for example in foreign companies, educational institutions, and foreign offices. It is hard to find the use of English in daily conversation in Indonesia. And then how to improve Indonesian proficiency in English. The first one is the government oblige people to learn English from elementary to tertiary level education or higher degree. The second one is respect to interact with non-native speakers of English. The third is English is occasionally used outside the classroom. The last but not least is encouraging the students to tell the story of local culture in English is highly recommended.
Okay, I'm Fitro. Now I'm going to representation about methods of research. Next slide. Types of research. Type of research have two types. They are descriptive, qualitative, and then simple, quantitative. What about descriptive, qualitative, and simple, quantitative? I will explain for you one by one. The first, descriptive, qualitative. Descriptive, qualitative research involves collecting and analyzing non-numerical data, for example, text, video, or audio, to understand concept, opinion, or experience. It can be used to gather in-depth insights into a problem or generate new ideas for research. Qualitative research is commonly used in the humanities and social science in subjects such as anthropology, sociology, education, health, science, history, and many others. And then, what about simple quantitative? Simple quantitative involves collecting and analyzing numerical data for statistical analysis. So, the type of research is descriptive, qualitative, and simple quantitative. Rather than measuring the quantity of case, this study measures the quality aspect of a case. That is why it is called as quantitative study. This point focuses on how strong the influence of English on English teaching in Indonesian draft written discussion with no numerical data analysis. The main that the current study focuses more on data explanation instead of presenting statistical results. Okay, next slide. The collecting of data were accomplished by several methods: questionnaire and English textbook. Questionnaire, a research instrument that consists of set of questions or other types of forms that aim to collect information from respondents. The writers read in the questionnaire to English teacher in SMP Negeri 1 with Adisa. The answer questions were then analyzed to compile the data. And then the second, the English textbook. English textbooks were analyzed by the writer as the source of data. They select English textbooks were published by the Ministry of Education and Culture. They were as follows results. The first, English in Focus for Grade 7 Junior High School, SMP or MTS by Wartiman. And the second source, Scaffolding English for Junior High School Students, Grade 8 by Priyana. And the last source, Contextual Teaching Learning Bahasa Inggris SMP or MTS Grade 9, 4th edition by Susilo Hadi. So I think enough representation about research of methods they need, and then next presentation will be presented by Mr. Rizky.
Okay, let me introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Rizky Aziz. So I will explain you about the impact of English as an international language in Indonesian school. The impact of English as an international language in Indonesia affected the development of English curriculum, communicative learning, or communicative method. An English language teaching process is being developed in English syllabus in Indonesia. So, the important goal of learning English in Indonesia is to communicate with other people around the world. In some teacher perspective, the role of teacher is to create the communicative method in teaching and learning process through group work or discussion or role play. These were done as ways of increasing the students' communication. If English is used primarily for communication between non-native speakers of English, then the cultures and background of those people become more important than any culture traditionally associated with native speakers. The English language teaching in Indonesia needs to give information about cultures of native speakers. It is also important that the student must be prepared to be able to use English to talk about their own cultures. In this research, researcher has found 8 criteria in the textbook about cultures. There are social identity and social group, and then social interaction, belief and behavior, and social and political institution, socialization and life place, national history, national geography, stereotypes, and national identity. The next is English is the global language. At the time that is popular, a headline of this kind must have appeared in 1,000 newspapers and magazines in recent years. In Toronto, 12 July 1997. The next one is, what is global language? So, a language achieves a generally global status when it develops a special role that is recognized in every country. Such a role will be most evident in countries where large numbers of the people speak the language as a mother tongue. There are two main ways in which this can be done. Firstly, a language can be made the official language of a country to be used as a medium of communication in such domains as a government, the law courts, the media, and then the last one is the educational system. Secondly, a language can be made a priority in a country for a language teaching, even though this language has no official status. So, the next one is why English to be as global language. One of the spirit of English in the world from culture, the cultural foundation. The first one is political developments. Most of the pre-20th century commentators will have had no difficulty giving a single political answer to the question, why word English? They would simply have pointed the growth of the British Empire. For example, justifying his calculation about English as the language of the future. The second one is access to knowledge. In the beginning of the 19th century, Britain had become the world's leading industrial and trading nation. And during the century, no country could equal its economic growth, with the gross national product rising on average at 2% a year. 14 most of the innovation of the Industrial Revolution were British origin. The last one is taken for granted. The story of English throughout this period is one of rapid expansion and diversification. With innovation, after innovation come to use the language as a primary or sole means of expression. The next speaker will be delivered by Mr. Aceh.
Well, introduce myself. My name is Aceh Muhammad Jaji. You can call me Aceh. I want to explain about the global English. The impact of English as an international language in Indonesia affect the development of the English curriculum. Even not only in Indonesia but in various other countries, English is very influencing because it is an international language used by people in the world. Because every country has different language, therefore in order for each other to understand and be able to communicate clearly. English, which is the international language, is used in order to communicate with other countries, especially in Indonesia. English is used as a mandatory language lesson at every level at education. Even though there are many people who are not as familiar with English because it is difficult to pronounce it. So, the important goal of learning English in Indonesia is to communicate with other people around the world. In some teacher perspective, the role of teacher is to create the communicate method in teaching and learning process through group work, discussion, or role play. The English language teaching in Indonesia need to give information about culture of native speaker. It is also important that the student must be prepared to able to ask English to talk about their own culture. If English in Indonesia and Asia is used primarily for communication between non-native speakers of English, then the way those people speak English become more important than the way native speakers speak English. Thank you very much.
The conclusions about our presentations are English is a global language. English to be as a global language because it spread the culture. English as an international language in Indonesia, and there are three circles of the proliferations of English: the inner, the outer, and the expanding circles. And then there are two types of research: descriptive qualitative and simple quantitative, based on journal entitled The Impact of English as an International Language on English Language Teaching in Indonesia by Devi Angga Gunantar. And the last is the impact of English as an international language in Indonesia affected the development of English curriculum and communicative learning. There are some references for our presentation. Thank you very much for your attention, and thank you for watching the video of our group. Don't forget to fill the link from Mrs. Angliana in the Google Classroom. Hope you like it and hope you enjoy this video, and see you in the next presentation.